So, hello, welcome, lovely people. You're all lovely. Yes, you are. I'm holding this block in a slightly menacing way to remind me to say now that if you have a block, grab it for this practice. If you don't have one, it's really totally fine. You're mostly going to need it for holding between your thighs at some point soon. So if you've got one of these, grab it. If not, anything like a cushion that you can fold in half or a pillow, anything like that will also totally be fine. It's just something to put in between your thighs so that you can feel feel a bit of something going on. Sounds way dodgier than it should do. So if you've got a block, grab it. If not, a folded up cushion will do. If you've got none of those things, you can improvise. It's totally fine. So here we are for our Wednesday night me yoga club. It's been quite the week, hasn't it? What with one thing and another. No, it has been quite a week, and it would be weird to not reference the death of the Queen. It feels because it's a big thing. And whatever you feel about the monarchy, whatever you feel about the Queen, I think it's just worth saying out loud that monumentous things like this happening are going to bring up feelings for a lot of us, and they might be feelings that we are not expecting or feelings that come out in a different way, and they can be totally unrelated as to whether or not you appreciate the monarchy. So one of the things that our practice encourages us to do is to allow feelings to be felt, to not try and stop or change or control stuff when it comes up, whether that's what's going on your mat or what's going on in your life. Yoga hopefully gives us the tools to navigate the bumpy bits of that roller coaster ride, but it certainly doesn't stop the roller coaster. So I would encourage you to use tonight's practice and everything that you can take off the mat to tune in, as we always do. And if stuff is there, allow it to be felt. I read something that made a very good point of any occasion where there is a sense of loss, where there is grief, where there is those kind of feelings, is going to tap into our own personal experiences of those kind of things. So, and who hasn't, unfortunately, experienced grief and loss at some point in their lives? So these big momentous occasions can definitely have expected and unexpected ripples on our own individual ponds, as it were. So, as always, I hope that you will be kind to yourself during the practice this evening, remembering that this is our opportunity to press the pause button on whatever is going on, and to take that midweek moment for yourself and to find those ways of tapping into a sense of flow, so that when things are challenging, you know how to get back to a place that feels good, where you feel connected, where you feel grounded. So through tonight's practice, when we look at playing with a couple of the poses and perhaps things feel hard, in inverted commas, your challenge, if you choose to accept it, is to try and notice how you can get back into a sense of flow, of pressing the pause button, of tuning in. And remember, flow can come in many different forms. Flow is the flow of your thoughts. Flow is the flow of your body in and out and through the poses. Flow is the energy as it moves around your body, and flow is your breath. We can tap in and get back into the moment, back to sort of pressing the pause button on the bigger stuff through all of those channels. So when things get hard, when hard feelings come up for whatever reason, we can take these practices and know what works for us to get back into flow, what we need in our toolkit. Is it tapping into our breath? Is it tuning into our body? Is it taking a moment to notice the thoughts and letting them go? These are all hopefully useful tools. Of course, all that being said, if you are just here to lengthen your hamstrings and move your body after sitting hunched over your desk all day, also totally fine. A little reminder, as ever, if something doesn't feel good in your body for whatever reason, don't push it. Be kind to yourself. But then again, remember that a little bit of a challenge can be good. That's how we find this way of tapping back into flow. But if stuff does keep coming up for you, like if you've got pain in X when you do Y, obviously feel free to ask me questions after the practice, or if you're watching this later, drop me an email or a message and we can find some solutions for you, hopefully. All of that being said, lie down if you are not lying down already, and just arrive into your favorite Shavasana shape. So remember, that can take many forms. As you get to the floor, as you get yourself comfortable, just start by tuning in to what your body needs to get comfortable. So as you arrive on the floor, you may feel like you need to hug the knees up into the chest, have a little roll around. You might feel like you need to do a little bit of stretching when you get there, whatever you need. And then arrive into your favorite Shavasana shape. And as I was saying, that can be flat on your back, or it could be knees bent and feet flat on the floor, with your knees resting up against each other. It could even be lying on your side if being on your back doesn't work. Hands can be down by your sides with the palms turned up to the sky. If your legs are straight, the feet might just fall gently apart. Whatever shape you're in, once you are settled, just let your eyes gently fall closed. And just begin to empty out before we start. Take a big breath in through the nose and sigh it out. Good. In your own time, at least 2 more breaths like that. Big breaths in, big sighs out. And begin to get a sense of arriving into this space and into this time. So, of course, plenty of things will have already happened in your day. There will still be time for more to come. But for the next hour or so, here and now is your opportunity to press the pause button on it all. You're going to allow you to be your priority. And remember, if for whatever reason that doesn't sit comfortably with you, then bear in mind that you can only serve the people who need you if you recharge your own batteries first. So just take a moment, feel like all the disparate parts of you that have been out in the world today all just begin to arrive. All the different roles that you have played through the day, the different things you've had to be, all of those roles, all of those pieces of you just settle now here on your mat. We begin to tune in. It's only by tuning in, it's only by pressing the pause button that we can find connection, that we can find this sense of flow that we can tap into, but ironically only when we find stillness. So begin to tune in and just take a moment to notice your thoughts. So take your awareness to that space between your ears and notice your thoughts come, but also notice them go. Notice how transient and changeable they are. And remember that you are positioning yourself as the interested observer of your thoughts, not the active participant. So whenever you feel yourself getting involved with a thought or picking it up or engaging with it, that's fine. Just notice that you've done it and then take a step back and reposition yourself as the observer. And you may have to do that every 3 seconds, every 5 seconds, every 30 seconds. Doesn't matter. That's why it's called a practice. So already we are beginning to tune in and just notice the flow of the thoughts. And then as you've noticed mind, take a moment to tune into body. So starting with your awareness up at the top of your head, taking 30 seconds or so, just begin to scan down. And this is only a brief body scan. But as you allow your awareness to roll down through your body, again, you're not trying to stop or change or control anything. You're just noticing what you can feel, where you can feel it, but then allowing the awareness to just move on. So again, tuning into your body, finding a way of just flowing with those sensations. And then as you've noticed mind, as you've noticed body, begin to tune into your breath. And take your awareness to wherever you can most easily feel the rise of your inhale and the fall of your exhale. So that may be somewhere around your belly button, a little bit above or a little bit below. Just notice. Notice the rise, notice the fall. Notice this flow of the breath, but notice that even within the flow of your breath, there is a natural pause. There's natural moments of stillness just at the peak of your inhale and just at the end of your exhale. See if you can tune in to those moments of stillness just as much as you can to the inhale and the exhale. Much more subtle, much trickier. But again, that's why it's called a practice. Notice those moments of deep quiet, of perfect stillness. And if you can, just notice for a moment what effect that has on your energy of just being in those moments of stillness between each breath. Notice if allowing yourself to be in those moments has itself already had a bit of an effect on your own flow of your prana, of your energy. You may feel a little more grounded, a little more peaceful, or maybe not. Remember, whatever you feel is totally fine. Allow it to be felt and know that whatever it is just something moving through you. And that goes for the good stuff as much as it does for the other stuff. So keep that awareness of your breath. And just remember, as we move through these poses, your challenge, if you choose to accept it, is to notice how you can stay in flow. Where's the constant for you? Where's the grounding? What can you most easily connect with? But for now, particularly connect with your breath. Place one hand on your belly. Place one hand up on your sternum, on your breastbone. And take a moment to set your intention for your practice. Remembering that this is the Me Club. So this is your intention, what you need to get out of the practice this evening. But remember, we want to try and listen to the gut, or you want to try and listen to your heart, not so much with the head. So take a moment to consider what you need the practice to do for you this evening, how you want to feel as you move through the poses, what you need the practice to do for you. Either go with your gut, listen to your heart, take a bit of both. Set your intention and then remain open-minded to the other good, positive stuff that may well come along. Good. With your staying as you are, you can gently blink your eyes open and then just make some gentle movements. You can stay on your back for now, but maybe just wiggle the fingers and wiggle the toes if you were particularly chilled out. And then whenever you're ready, bring your knees up into your chest, hug them in, and just have a little roll from side to side. Take the knees around in some circles one way, some circles the other way, and just give the back a little gentle massage. Then take the knees apart, take them in some circles one way and some circles the other way. Let's begin to oil the old hips a little bit. Bring the feet down onto the floor, knees stay bent, soles of the feet together. Take your arms up over your head and just have a nice stretch. Let the soles of the feet gently push together just to bring some connection there. If you need to have a yawn, have a yawn. Oh dear. And then bring the knees together. Now we're going to get straight into it and just take a moment to connect to our core. Oh goodness, I know, right in there. So now is the time to grab your block if you have one handy. Like I say, if you don't have one handy, that's totally fine. You can use a folded cushion or if you haven't got anything, that's fine. What you're going to do is you're going to take your block and put it between your thighs. So you could put your cushion there. If you don't have anything, like I say, that's fine. Just squeeze the thighs together as they are. Now, I want you to let the hands come down by your sides and just notice the natural curve in your lower back. Perhaps the best way of noticing it is to lose it. So tuck your tailbone under and flatten out the base of your spine against the mat. So if any little animal had scuttled under there to take shelter, I don't know why they would, you've now squashed them. So now go the opposite way and make that arch in your back as big as you can. So now you could fit possibly a whole small squirrel under there. I don't know where my point of reference is. So now you've got a bigger arch. But now I want you to find what your natural kind of arch is. So it's not flat against the floor. It's not big enough for a squirrel. It's somewhere between the two. And I want you to keep that feeling of that natural, nice little curve. So we're going to do some fun stuff. Hands are going to stay by your sides. And all I want you to do is squeeze the block between your thighs and lift your feet just a little bit off the floor and keep squeezing. Now, you're literally lifting your feet an inch, maybe two, off the floor. And then you're going to bring the feet back down. Oh, good. My teaching assistant is here. Hello. So hopefully you felt as you squeezed the block, as you lifted the feet, there was some core engagement. We're going to do that a couple of times, so do not fear. Hands are down by your sides. You squeeze the block, keep that arch in the back, and just lift the feet literally an inch or two. The higher you lift the feet, actually kind of the easier it is. So if you want to be really cruel, lift the feet just a little bit. And then just see if you can find a bit of a connection through the pelvic floor, through that space right at the base of your belly. And then before you get too knackered, let the feet come back down onto the floor again. Good. And again, when you're ready, squeeze the block, lift the feet. Now you know what you're doing with your body. Notice if other bits of you have got involved that don't need to get involved. So are your shoulders tight? Have you clenched your jaw? Do you have furrows in your brow? Are you pushing your hands down into the floor? None of that stuff needs to get involved. Let that be soft. Just use the bits that need to be used. When you're ready to rest, put the feet back down again, take a breath, let the belly be soft. So just through these little movements, when we are doing something that's, fairly challenging, that requires some effort, I want you to notice what's getting involved that doesn't need to be involved. But then I also want you to notice how you can bring your awareness back into the moment. Is that through your breath? Is that through noticing sensations in your body? Is that through noticing your thoughts? How can you get back into your flow? One more time, squeeze the block, feet a little bit off the floor. Be active through your core, keep that natural arch, but keep everything that doesn't need to get involved out of the equation. 3 more breaths. 2 and 1. Good. Let the feet come down. You are not done with your block quite yet, I'm afraid to say. I'm just going to have to check. So annoying. Just going to eat your plant. This could go very badly wrong. So keep that block between your thighs. This time you can lift the feet a little higher up. So bring the knees up towards your chest, but keep squeezing that block into your thighs. Now I want you to lift your chest up towards your thighs and push your hands out towards your feet. So you're making yourself up into a tight little ball. Good. Now keep everything lifted, but take both arms outside your right leg. So you're taking your left elbow
to the outside of your right leg. Peel your right shoulder blade up off the floor. Good. Come back to center. Now go the other way. Take your right hand to the outside of your left leg. Peel both shoulder blades up off the floor. Good. Come back to center. Have a rest. I'm really sorry. Bear with me. You are a pain in the bum. I'm not talking to you. Obviously, I'm talking to the cat. Rest there for a moment. What do they say about never working with children or animals? I didn't even ask her to be on duty this evening. One more time. Block in between the thighs. Curl the chest up. Push the hands towards the feet. Nice. Go to your right. Both hands outside the right leg. Peel your right shoulder blade off the floor, especially. Back to center. Go the other way. Right hand to the outside of your left leg. Try and peel your left shoulder blade back off the floor. Back to center. Just for fun, take it into a reclined handstand. So reach out through fingers and toes, and come back and curl it up. And again, do a handstand. Come back and curl it up. Oh, one more, do a handstand. Oh dear, mine's gone very flat. Come back and curl it up. And then bring everything to the floor. Goodness. Bring the knees in. Pause. Feet to the floor. Hands on your belly. Notice. Press the pause button. Things got a little challenging. How can you drop back into your body? Start by trying to notice your breath. Reconnect with it. If it's speeded up, notice where there's stillness. Body. Can you soften the bits that no longer need to be active? Thoughts. Those little niggly voices have started about how rubbish you were at that or whatever was going on. Can you let them go? Then one way or another, bring yourself up to sit and end up on your hands and knees. Don't mind how elegantly or not you do that. On your hands and knees and some good old cat and cow just to bring some mobility into the spine because there's nothing quite like it. So we've warmed up front of core. Now a little bit of spinal mobility just to move to warm up the back of the core. So you know what you're doing. Inhale, let the gaze go up, let the sitting bones lift. Exhale, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, squeeze your belly button up towards your spine. And then inhale, you go back the other way. Good. And then keep rolling with your own breath between your cat and cow. And remember, full breath for each part of the pose. And even here, because we're not really into a kind of a challenging flow yet, you can play with just a split second of pause at the end of the inhale and a split second of pause at the end of the exhale. And in those little bits of stillness, you might even feel just a little bit more stretch come in as you really kind of bottom out on the exhale and as you really reach the peak of your inhale. Once you've gone normal cat and cow a few times, start to take the belly button around in some circles. So you can do that by arching up, taking the ribs to the right, letting the belly drop down, sticking it out to the left, arching it up, taking it round. And once you've gone around a few times one way, of course, you take it around a few times the other way. Make sure you're getting your head and your neck involved in the fun as well, remembering that this is a whole spine movement, right the way from the space in the tips between your ears, the tips of your ears, no, right the way from the space between your ears, all the way down to the tip of your tailbone. Lovely. Once you'll feel like you've been around each way a few times, Wiggle towards the back of your mat if you're not there already, and just take child's pose for a moment. Let the belly be soft. Let it drape over your thighs. And just take a breath. Find your inhale and your exhale. Good, then inhale, come forwards to a kind of half a plank. Exhale, come all the way down. Inhale, just a gentle little cobra, first little back bend. Exhale, come down. 2 more of those. Inhale, super gentle little cobra. Exhale, roll down. 1 more, just like that. Inhale, gentle little cobra. Exhale, roll down. Inhale, push back to your knees. Either take child's pose or come to your first downward facing dog if that feels like a good thing for you to do. Bend one knee. Pause there. And then swap, bend the other knee. And pause there. And give your dog a nice, slow walk on the spot. And remember, you are always resisting the urge to go on to autopilot. So again, notice thoughts, notice body, notice breath. And then if you're not in downward facing dog, come into it. If you are in downward facing dog, find some stillness. Take your right leg up in the air. And then come forwards as if you were going to come into plank and bring your right knee towards the back of your right wrist and your right foot towards your left wrist, as if you were going to drop it into half a pigeon, but then take it back and up. Good. Do that again. Come forwards as if you were going to come to plank. Come bring the right leg forward as if you were going to go into half pigeon. And then take it back up and lift it up. And then do it again. Come forwards as if you were going to do plank. Right knee towards the back of the right wrist. And then take it up into the air. Last time, bring the right leg forwards again. And this time, land in half a pigeon. We're not going to be here for very long, but allow your right knee to come towards the back of your right wrist and allow your right foot to come towards the back of your left wrist. Be kind to your hip. We've only just started warming up. Let the top of your back foot push gently down into the mat and lift the chest forwards and up. So we're not going to take this into a forward fold because we're just warming up. Just breathe here for a moment. Try and let that right sitting bone drop down a little. Good. And then take yourself back to your downward facing dog. Inhale, come forwards towards a plank. Bring your knees down. Bring everything down with control. And again, little cobra. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, come down. 2 more like that. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, roll down. 1 more time. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, roll down. Good, nice. Push back, downward facing dog. Oh, you know what's coming now, don't you? So in your downward facing dog, take the left leg up, sweep it up. Come towards a plank shape, but bring your left knee towards the back of your left wrist and the left foot towards the back of your right wrist. And then take the foot back up and lift it. And then exhale again, come forwards as if you're going to land in pigeon. Inhale, take it up. 1 more time, exhale forwards as if you were going to land in pigeon. Inhale, take it up. Good news or bad news, depending on how you look at it, is that exhale, you're going to land in half a pigeon this time. Take a moment or two to set it up. So your left knee is towards the back of your left wrist. Your right foot does not have to be that close to your right wrist. If your hips are tight, you can wiggle the foot towards your pubic bone a little. Wiggle the right foot back a little bit. You can lift up onto the fingertips if that feels good. And just take it into almost like a little mini back bend. But you're obviously got a juicy hip opener there as well. Try and let the shoulders roll back and down. Top of the back foot gently pushes down, which gives you something to lift up and away from. Good. Exhale. Oh, one way or another, find your downward facing dog. So I'm just chuckling at my own creakiness this evening. When you're ready, bring your feet in towards your hands or as close as they'll come. Soften your knees, let yourself hang here for a moment. And then inhale, push through the feet, gently bring yourself all the way up to standing. And exhale, pull your arms down by your sides. Good. Come to the front of your mat if you are not there already. Find that nice even Tadasana shape. That's the name of the pose we do right at the front. It's called other things as well, but Tadasana, mountain pose, or Samastihiti. The Sama can mean sort of sameness, evenness, balance. So bring that sense of evenness down into your 2 feet. And let's find some grounding by lifting up onto the toes, rolling back onto the heels, and just bringing awareness down into our feet, particularly if they've been trapped in shoes all day. And then let that rolling become a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller until you find some stillness. Ground the base of your big toe, base of your little toe, middle of your heels. And then as you ground down, feel stuff lifting up. So draw up through the arches of the feet, feel the thighs switching on, lift through the pelvic floor, lift the belly button, lift the heart, drop the shoulders. Feel the top of your head lifting up towards the ceiling. Turn your palms to get broad across the front of the chest and feel that kind of sense of evenness and sameness and balance, not only left to right, but up to down and front to back. Just take an inhale and an exhale. 2 more like that. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Let's look at adding a little bit of strength work into our sunny A's to begin with. So on your next inhale, lift up and grow tall. Exhale, soft knees, fold all the way down. Inhale, halfway up, but take away the support. Maybe bring your arms up to kind of like robot arms, or reach them back behind you. Or if you've got room, reach them out in front of you. If that puts any pressure on your lower back, just go back to having them on your thighs. But find something where you can really feel the back body working, even here in this half a lift. Exhale, fold down. Good. Once more, inhale, halfway up. Make it a strong pose for you. Exhale, fold down. Last time, inhale, halfway up. What can you do to make it strong? Obviously, you'd have both arms forwards, but I've got a window. Exhale, fold down. Hands to the floor, take both feet back. Bring your knees down, bring chest down with control. Come to a Sphinx pose this time. Elbows under shoulders, hands on the floor, spread the fingers wide. Pull the elbows back, lift the chest forwards and up, lengthening out those front lines of the body from the tops of the feet all the way up to the space between your collarbones. Good. And then push back, downward facing dog or child's pose, whatever works best for you. 3 breaths here. Make them count. That's 1 and 2 and 3. Good. Now, to make it more fun, with a little bit of strength training to get the feet into the hands, if you want to, lift up high onto the balls of your feet. And then keeping your hips high, see if you can tiptoe your feet all the way in towards your hands. And you'll feel as you get closer to your wrists, it gets harder to stay up on your tippy toes. Inhale halfway up, a strong half lift, however that works for you. Exhale, soft knees, fold down. Inhale, push down to rise up. Exhale, pull the arms down. Good. Similar but different. Inhale, reach up, grow tall. Exhale, soft knees, fold down. Strong half lift. Don't use support if you can. Exhale, hands down, step back, knees down, chest down with control. Locust pose this time. So forehead down, reach the hands back, turn the palms down. Lift your chest and your arms and then lift the legs. Keep your chin tucked a little. See how high you can lift the arms, how high you can lift the legs. Squeeze them in towards each other for 3, 2, and 1. Exhale slowly down without headbutting the floor. Push yourself back, downward facing dog or child's pose. Another variation to add to your downward facing dog, to look at building a bit of strength. Lift up onto your tippy toes again, but lift the hips up high. Lift the hip creases up as high as you can. And then exhale, slowly let the heels come down. Inhale, slowly lift back up onto tippy toes. Exhale, slowly let the heels come down. And keep doing that a few times. And if you're really doing it slowly, and if you can almost do it against imagined resistance, as if someone was like pushing your bum down, you can kind of really feel like you're doing a kind of a calf lift. You're building some strength in the backs of the legs. Good. Next time, once the heels are down, pause there and just let the legs stretch out a little. And then again, bend the knees, look at the space between your hands, bring the feet into it, or come up onto the tiptoes once more and see if you can tippy toe with little tiny steps. Your hands all the way, no, your feet all the way to your hands. I should have also said the challenge is to not move your hands whilst you're doing that. Inhale halfway up, a strong half lift. Exhale, soft knees, fold down. Inhale, push down to rise up. Exhale, pull the arms down. One more variation on your sunny A. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, soft knees, fold down. Inhale, halfway up, make it strong. Exhale, hands down, take it back, knees down, chest down. Back to our cobra again. Inhale, lift up, but pull back with the hands. Exhale to your downward facing dog or child's pose. Remember, that is always your option. Now, another little variation in your downward facing dog. Oh, hooray, they all shouted. Or didn't. Now, look at your left hand. Shift the weight a little, keeping it as even as possible. And just lift your left hand like half an inch up off the floor. Good. Now look at your right foot and do the same with your right foot. Lift it about half an inch up off the floor without bending the knee, just kind of lift the leg up. Good. Look at your right hand. Lift the right hand about half an inch off the floor. Guess what? Look at your left foot and lift that bad boy about half an inch off the floor. Put that back down. No surprises as to what's coming out. So what I want you to do is look at your left hand, lift it just a teeny bit up off the floor. Now keep everything nice and even And see if you can lift your right foot a little bit as well. And again, I think it's, I don't know, it feels like it's more difficult the smaller amount you lift up off the floor. It could just be me kidding myself. See if you can work out what you need to switch on to take the weight out of those two supporting bits. Good. Then put it all back down before you fall over. Take a child's pose for a moment if you need to rest. We're just going to crack on and do the other side. So then it's up to you whether you want to take the right hand up first or the left foot. Sometimes I think it's easier to lift foot first, then take the hand off. I mean, it's hard. I'm not going to lie. It's hard either way. Just see if you can find what you need to switch on. Oh, I'm so wobbly. To lift it up. Good. That's quite enough of that. Let everything land again in your normal downward facing dog, one way or another, either by tippy-toeing or staggering, dragging, whatever you need. Get feet in towards hands. Inhale, halfway up, make it a strong lift. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, push down to rise up. Exhale, pull your arms down. Good. Into some sunny bees now. Inhale, reach up. Now exhale, sink your bum back and down. So you're sitting in your imaginary chair, but you're not just teetering on the front of your imaginary chair. You want to send your bum back and down right into the back of your imaginary chair. Take an inhale. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, halfway up again, make it strong. Exhale, hands down, both feet back to your half a plank. Bring yourself all the way down to the floor. Inhale, little cobra, lift the heart. Exhale, push back, down dog. Step your right foot forwards, turn and ground your left heel, and then come up to stand. So the feet are on two parallel lines, just as a reminder for your warrior one. Bend your right knee, turn the back foot in as much as you comfortably can, and the left hip is coming towards the front of your mat. If it doesn't come all the way round, that's fine. Be mindful of your back knee. Inhale, reach the arms up, and then bend the right knee. Get both legs really active. Now, do this pose to such an extent that you will be really glad when you are not doing this pose anymore. Ground, base of big toe, base of little toe, middle of heel of the right foot. Inhale, straighten your right leg. Exhale, take it down, laughing at my wobbliness. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, take it down. Keep grounded through that back foot. Inhale, straighten it. Exhale, come down. Two more. Inhale, power through that front leg. Exhale, go down. One more. Inhale, straighten it. Exhale, go down. Good. Keep low. Bring the hands down. Step the right foot back. That was a lie. Anyway, come all the way down to your belly. Should have just styled it out, shouldn't I? Inhale, little cobra. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Good. Turn and ground your right foot. Step the left foot forwards. And then just bring yourself up to stand. Take a moment, get your feet in the right place. I know it's hard to do it on one breath. So back foot, gosh, I'm so wobbly. Back foot is turned in about 45 degrees or thereabouts, she says, trying to see her back foot without falling over. Left toes going straight ahead. Feet are on two slightly parallel lines. Right hip is turning towards the front of your mat. But don't try and drag it all the way round because it's probably going to hurt your knee. Just let it turn, and when it stops, stops. Same for your chest. Turn it to the same extent that the pelvis is. Inhale, bring the arms up, and then just find yourself somewhere in a challenging but effective warrior two. Remember, I want you to do the version of the pose where you will be very glad to not be doing the pose anymore. Ground the base of your big toe, base of little toe, middle of heel. Inhale, straighten the left leg. Exhale, go back down. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, take it down, find your breath. Inhale, you go up. Exhale, you go down. Good, 2 more. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, take it down. 1 more. Inhale, you go up. Exhale, come down. Good. Keep the hips low. Bring the hands down to the floor. Step your left foot back. Bring your knees down. Bring the chest down. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, push back. Downward facing dog, just for 1 breath. Take an inhale and a good exhale. Nice. Bend your knees. This time look at the space between your hands and just step or jump the feet in. Inhale, halfway up. Make sure it's nice and strong. Exhale, forward fold. Now, bend your knees here and sit once again in that nice deep seat. Then inhale, come up to your Utkatasana, your fierce pose once again. Bring the hands into a prayer this time and bring them into your heart. Take an inhale and then exhale, come down lower and lower and lower and lower. Lift the heels when you need and come down into kind of a little squat. Now, with grace and style, send your arms forwards to counterbalance yourself, and with control, deliver your bum onto the floor behind you without dislodging any ornaments. I'm in an attic and this will make the floorboards shake, I tell you now. So, oh, did you hear all my furniture move? Hopefully yours was more successful than mine. Anyway, once you land, lift the heart, bring the feet up off the floor, maybe lift the feet, bring the feet up, maybe straighten the shins, keep the heart lifted for 5. Squeeze the knees together. Remember that feeling of having your block between your thighs. 3, 2, 1. Good. Cross your ankles one way or another. Make your way into a downward facing dog. Remind me to apologize to my neighbors later. One more breath here. Look at the space between your hands, and again, lift the hips. See if you can tippy toe your feet in. Can you keep the hands cemented to the floor and see how far in you can get your feet? Inhale, halfway up. Make it a strong lift. Exhale, fold down. Soft knees again. Inhale, sit in your imaginary chair. Exhale, straighten the legs, lower the arms. Good. Into a sunny A, adding lunges. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, soft knees, fold down. Inhale, halfway up, make it strong. Exhale, hands down, take your right foot back, take your right knee down. Inhale, reach up, grow tall. Exhale, hands down, tuck the toes of your back foot under. Now turn the toes out and arrive up into a warrior 2 this time. So back foot is again about 45 degrees, but your feet are now on a parallel line. Well, not on a parallel line, on the same line. Heel is about the same place. Goodness me. Heel and back arch are kind of aligned, if that's okay for your knees. Left knee bends, right leg is straight. Take an inhale. Exhale, bend your left knee. Come down and again, find a version of the pose where you're going to be really glad when you are no longer doing the pose. It's kind of easy to just hang out in a warrior two, I know, but find where it takes some effort. Activate both legs and zing out to the fingertips. Inhale, straighten the left leg, push off from that foot. Exhale, sink down. Good. Again, inhale, take it up. Exhale, go down. 3 more like that. Inhale, take it up. Don't lose connection with the back foot as you go down. Nice. 2 more. Take it up. Really drive through that front foot. Exhale, go down. 1 more. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, go down. Good. Inhale, take it out. Bring your right hand to your right hip. Left thumb and first finger into your hip crease. So we're going to go in and out of our triangle pose just a little bit. Take an inhale, activate the thighs. Again, push down through the feet. Exhale, push your hip crease back underneath you a little bit as you tip yourself out towards your triangle pose. Then inhale, drive through the feet, come all the way up. Exhale again, tip yourself out as if you were going to go into your triangle pose. Inhale, come up. Use the muscles through this side body. 3 more. Exhale. Inhale. If you're lucky, you get a bonus hip pop. Exhale. See how far down you can go. Inhale, drive through the feet to come up. 1 more. Exhale, go towards. Inhale, drive it up. Good. This time, take your inhale, take your left arm up. Exhale, reach it out. Take another inhale, grow tall. Exhale, reach out over that left leg. And then exhale, bring the left hand down. If you can, take the right arm up and find your child's pose. What do I keep saying? Child's pose, wishful thinking, triangle pose. So be in your pose. If it feels interesting to do so, maybe remove the support of the bottom hand. So take it off the leg or off the block or off the floor. If that just feels awful and it feels things pinching and just unpleasant in your body, of course, don't do that. But if it feels fun to challenge your strength by taking a little of the support away, give it a go. Exhale, look down. Inhale, gracefully bring yourself all the way up. Good. Simple pivot, turn back. Ooh, towards the front of your mat. I say that. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, come down into a crescent pose for a moment. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring the hands down, step the left foot back. Bring your knees down, bring your chest down with control. Inhale, little cobra. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Just 1 breath, take an inhale and an exhale. One way or another, bring your feet to your hands, tippy toes, or an easier way, if there is such a thing. Inhale, halfway up, make it a strong lift. Exhale, soft knees, fold down. Inhale, push down to rise up. Good. Exhale, pull the arms down. Don't lose the flow. Inhale, straight up again. Exhale, fold forwards all the way down. Inhale, halfway up. Make it strong for you. Exhale, hands down, left foot back. Turn the toes of the left foot out and find your warrior two on this side. So again, front heel is probably on the same sort of line as the arch of your back foot. Back foot's turned in about 45 degrees, front toes out to 90 degrees. This time the hips are drawing back, they're not trying to square to the front of your mat. Switch both legs on, push down through the feet so that everything else lifts up. Take the arms out to shoulder height. Take an inhale and exhale. Settle yourself down into your most fun version of your warrior two. And of course, when I say fun, I don't mean fun. Inhale, straighten the right leg. Exhale, slowly down. Find your breath. Inhale, drive through the foot. Exhale, take it down. 3 more like that with your own breath. And remember what we practiced right at the beginning. What other stuff is getting involved that doesn't have to? Are the shoulders tight? Is the jaw tight? Have you furrowed your brow? What can you let go of? And what needs to work? What needs to be strong? Exhale, I think I may have lost count. One more time. And then straighten the right leg. Left hand on your left hip, right thumb and first finger into your right hip crease, just to encourage that right hip to go back and underneath you a little. So again, we're going to play into sort of going towards triangle pose to build strength up through the side and the back body and in your legs as well. Take an inhale, activate the thighs. Exhale, you're kind of tipping, you're pouring yourself out over that right leg. See how low you can go. And inhale, come back up. Good, again, exhale. Inhale, bring yourself back up. Good, 3 more like that. Exhale, take it out. What do you need to use? What doesn't need to get involved? Inhale, bring it up. Again, exhale. Switch the legs on all the time. Inhale, this time take the arm up. Exhale, take it out to the side. Inhale, grow tall up through the top of the head. Exhale, reach out. And then let the hand come down to land somewhere on the shin, foot, floor, or on a block. And take a moment to settle yourself in. Maybe the left arm comes up. See if you can roll that chest open a little. And then if it feels like a fun thing for you to do, to build strength, take away the support of that hand. So you can just bring the back of the hand to the inside of the ankle. Just take the weight out of the arm. See how that feels? Again, if it causes anything to clench or cramp or just feels awful, don't do it. Good. Exhale, look down for balance. Inhale, push through the right foot. Come all the way up. Nice. Bring your hands to your hips. One way or another, wiggle yourself back to a crescent lunge pose. Bend your right knee. Inhale, reach up. I'm laughing at my wobbliness. Pause here again for a moment. Exhale, bring your hands down. Take the right foot back. All the way down to your belly. Inhale, little cobra. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog, just for a breath. Then one way or another, maybe on your tippy toes, bring the feet in. If you're tippy toeing, remember the hands stay cemented to the floor. Oh. Inhale, halfway up, make it a strong lift. Exhale, soft knees, fold down. Inhale, push down to rise up. Exhale, pull the arms down. Good. Pause. Bring one hand onto your belly. One hand onto your sternum, your heart space. Allow your eyes to close. If closing your eyes makes you wobble, keep a little slither of light visible just at the base of your bottom of your eyelid. Notice and pause. And pause to notice. Notice what's happened to your breath. Can you tune back into it even though things may have got a little challenging? Notice your thoughts. Can you still allow them just to come and go, even though things may have got a little challenging? Can you notice your body? Can you notice which bits of you may be getting involved even now that don't need to be involved? Can you let that tension go and allow your body to get back into a state of flow? Does one of those methods of tuning in work better for you? No right or no wrong, but I just want you to develop this practice of pausing, noticing, and tuning in. Good. Gently blink your eyes open. Bring your hands onto your hips and shift your weight into your left leg. Now, find something to look at you that isn't going to move. Watching me, probably not your best bet, I'm not going to lie, because we all know I'm wobbly at the best of times, particularly tonight. Before we do anything, so you've shifted your weight into your left leg, make sure your left hip isn't hoiked out to one side. Just activate the outer thigh muscles and suck it back in so that even though you've shifted the weight, you're not collapsing into that hip. Everything is still very much kind of over your central line, as it were. Hands stay on your hips. Now turn your right knee out a little bit as much as you can. So if you know that balance is not your strongest suit, don't worry about bringing the foot up high. Just bring it up to the inside of your ankle so that when you get a wobble, all you've got to do is bring the foot back down. And you can just practice here as many times as you like without worrying about doing a stupendous fall from grace. If, however, you are feeling a little more confident, she starts falling over, you can bring your right foot up a little higher. You can reach down and hold it and bring it up more to your thigh if you wish. Now, I'm not going to lie, choice of legging does have a strong influence on this pose. I have made a bad choice of trousers tonight. Certainly when you are learning this pose, if you've got anything slidey there, it's not going to work well. So you bring your foot up as high as you can and allow it to make contact with the leg. If it's pushing into the thigh, push the thigh into the foot and the foot into the thigh. So there's a real connection there. Good. Stand tall and breathe. Either leave your hands on your hips or bring them into a prayer shape in front of your heart. Connect base of big toe, base of little toe, middle of heel. More challenging now, there's a wobble, but again, connect with your breath. Notice rise of inhale. Notice fall of exhale. Notice moment of stillness, even though things are challenging. Good, then very gently bring that right foot back down. Same pose, different side. So I know it seems, it probably doesn't, it's not, for some of us, you know, standing on one leg isn't particularly difficult. For those other more of us, it's the most ridiculous thing you've ever tried. But again, the point here is that I want you to just keep tapping into finding this connection, finding the pause, finding what works for you to get into flow, to tune in. And when you're doing it standing on one leg, most of the time, I think you're probably telling yourself that you're rubbish at standing on one leg. So if we can get out of that headspace, it's a good practice to have. Okay, weight to the right foot. Again, make sure your hip isn't hoiked out to the side. Suck that bad boy up and in so that everything's on a nice line. Hands on your hips. Again, start by turning your left knee out. And again, if balance isn't your forte, that's fine. Just bring the left leg up, foot up a little bit so that you can keep just bringing it down whenever you need to engage stabilizer. If you are confident and have a good choice of legging on, you can reach down and bring the foot up, let it press into the thigh and activate the thigh so that it pushes back into the foot. If, however, you've got particularly slidey trousers on and tight hips and you're wobbly tonight, you just put the foot wherever you want. Hands into prayer. And again, tune in. Ground the standing foot. Activate the thighs. Notice your breath. Even though you're wobbling, even though things are challenging, find that natural pause and stillness and connection in each breath. For 3, 2, and 1. Good. Gently bring the foot back down. Arrive back at the front of your mat. Find the grounding between each of your feet. Drop the shoulders, turn the palms. Just take an inhale and then exhale. On your next inhale, reach up and grow tall. Exhale, soft knees, fold down. One last time. Inhale, lift the heart, make it a strong lift. Exhale, hands down, both feet back. Bring your knees down, but come straight to your child's pose. Bring your bum back to your heels. Drape your belly over your thighs. Pause here and breathe. Just a couple of breaths, just to get grounded, particularly after wobbling around on one leg. I mean, you may have been doing it all perfectly. I absolutely wasn't. So take a moment just to appreciate being back on terra firma. And then bring yourself forwards and down onto your belly. And then once you're on your belly, just roll over onto your back. Good. One last little pose to do before we settle into our Shavasana, just to even out a lot of that forward folding that we've been doing. So a couple of baby back bends, not baby back bends, sorry, little bridges. So right at the beginning, I asked you to keep a natural curve in your lumbar spine so that your friend, the little squirrel, could get some shelter there. We have fallen out with the squirrel. We no longer want the squirrel to make its nest. I'm sorry, I'm entertaining myself now. So anyway, flatten out the base of your spine against the mat. So take that natural curve out of the spine. Knees are bent, feet are flat on the floor. Hands are resting gently down by your sides. With an inhale, start by lifting the pubic bone up away from the floor. Then with the rest of your inhale, lift bottom, middle, upper back, all the way up. Exhale, slowly roll your spine back down. Again, inhale, lift the pubic bone first. Roll all the way up as high as you can to that space between your shoulder blades. Exhale, roll it all the way back down. Good. A few more like that, working with your own breath. So just this final pose, we're still just experimenting with how we can add a little bit of strength building into our poses. But you'll notice I still want you to keep that nice, even breath. I want evenness of movement as you roll up. Can you imagine that you are lifting your spine like you were lifting a necklace, link by link up off the floor? And as you roll it back down, same principle, link by link, laying the chain back down. Just do a few more of those. We're building strength through the back body by lifting it up away from the floor, but at the same time, we're giving the front body an opportunity to lengthen, to stretch. Like I say, just to try and take a step towards evening out all of the forward bending we've done in the practice. Next time your bum is down, let it stay down. Let the knees rest in together, but wiggle your feet out so that they are at the edges of your mat. Pause here for a moment as we begin to invite some stillness to come back into the body. And then when you are ready, begin to make your way into your favorite Shavasana shape. And again, I want you to tune in. So if your body feels like it needs a little twist or a happy baby or any kind of reclined stretch right now, tune into it. Give your body what it needs. If it wants a twist one way, you give it a twist on both sides. Whatever you need so that you can settle into your favorite Shavasana shape. Once you get there, allow your eyes to gently fall closed. And take a big breath in through your nose. And let it go through the mouth. 2 more just like that. Big breath in. Big sigh out. And then just once again, let your breath settle into its own natural rhythm. So if it wants to be deep, let it be deep. If it wants to be shallow, let it be shallow. And on your next exhale, allow your whole body to sink a little bit deeper into the mat. At the same time, feel the earth rising up beneath you, supporting you fully so you can completely let go. Allow yourself to be here and be still for a few moments in silence, and I will tell you when it is time for us to move on. But for now, just be here and just breathe. Stay exactly as you are. Just take a moment and notice where your mind may have wandered to, and gently bring it back. Bring it back into your body and notice how you feel. And if there is good stuff there, allow it to be fully felt. Allow it to radiate down to your toes, up to the top of your head and out to the tips of your fingers. Feel as if you are marinating yourself in it. Take one hand onto your belly. Bring another hand onto your heart space. Take a moment to remember the intention you set back at the beginning of our time together. Remember how you wanted to feel and breathe life back into that intention with a big inhale. And let it go with the exhale. Keeping your eyes closed, make any movements you need to roll onto your side. And then push yourself up and come to sit. You can bring your hands into a prayer shape if that feels good for you. Take one final big breath in through the nose. Sigh it out through the mouth. Allow the corners of your mouth to lift into a gentle smile. Keep that on your face for as long as you can. Namaste.